Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, audible.
It's audible, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Lena, just mute the music. According to this, I have to start speaking now.
Anju ma'am, just wait.
Okay. It was told 12:55. I have to missed.
We need to check whether resource person is there.
You just informed me.
Yeah. Mehru, can you please check?
Hello. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I'm just ma'am is checking. All these ma'am is checking. Yes, ma'am. Kamal ma'am, please check whether Naz ma'am has joined or not.
Okay.
Joined. All right. Good afternoon to all of you. Yes, Anju ma'am, please, you can start. I
Okay.
think everybody has joined.
Stories have the power to create social change and inspire community. Good afternoon to all. Gender sensitivity is a social issue. and conducting webinar on this sensitive topic is the forte of our school. It is a matter of great pride that the first trans woman beauty queen, who has won fame and acclaim at national and international level, is among us. She is India's first transgender cover model. She is the world's first trans woman to win international pageant, India's first transgender showstopper, India's first transgender model. To name a few, she has got many accomplishments. So it is a matter of great pride that she is among us. We feel honored to have us. And I would like now our principal ma'am to please welcome Honorable Ms. Naz Joshi to share our experience and relate her struggles as well as challenges that has brought a change in the mindset of the community. May I request our principal ma'am to please welcome Naz Joshi.
Gender equality can bring change in community. Good afternoon and very happy new year to all. Trans women in India are often subjected to hatred and transphobia. This sect of transgender is generally looked down with disrespect and disgrace. So to bring a change and educate the mindset of society towards gender awareness, it is a matter of great honor that we have among us a great revolutionary who has brought a big change in the world of gender. And she is none other than Naz Joshi, the winner of 8 beauty crowns, 1 national and 7 internationals, including the recent Empress Earth 2021-22 held virtually. She is India's international trans beauty queen who has won Miss World Diversity Beauty Pageant 3 times in a row. And I'm glad to welcome this inspirational figure at a live session on breaking the barriers of gender under the project Indradhanush, a great initiative of MMPS, which will surely inspire our dear students as well as the school fraternity to stand up for their rights and be courageous enough to carry forward their passion. Over to Naz Joshi for sharing her saga of success to motivate our dear students and teaching fraternity.
Nazi, she's muted. Nazi, you are muted. Please unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
Naz. ट्रांसजेंडर हुए ब्यूटी प्लेयर वो जीते उसने बहुत सारे कॉम्पिटिशन्स 8 उसी के ऊपर है ना सेमिनार
Garima Jain, mother, please mute yourself, ma'am.
Garima ji, please mute yourself. Garima ji.
अरे फ्रूट काट
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Now you're on.
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah.
Can everybody hear me and see me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, now we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Oh, you can't hear me?
No, it's very quite audible.
Okay. So, first of all, I would like to thank Principal Ma'am for taking the initiative of having a project which is called Indradhanush. And I have been associated with many colleges and universities like IIT, IIM, and in also Mangalore. I have been associated with one of the social sciences schools. I have also been to Bihar in the social sciences school, and I'm very happy that we have schools and colleges today who are talking about gender sensitization. The people who are talking about gender equality. Well, honestly speaking, the equality should have come to us in the year 1950 when the Constitution was written, and now again we are approaching 26 January, but we still don't have the equality for everybody. Whether it's like a poor person who wants to go to a big hotel, or it's me who was subjected not to go to a hotel, in the year 2018 in Gurgaon, and that equality hasn't come as yet. And why are we pushing these projects in the schools and colleges is that we should all have equality to everything. Now I tell you something about trans students. Basically, when what is a transgender? Let's understand what is a transgender. We also know about LGBTQIAs long term. So let's start from this thing only. What is L starts for? L is a lesbian who likes a girl. Okay, who loves a girl. Being a girl who loves a girl, and they can look like a tomboy or they cannot look like a tomboy. They can look like a normal human being as well, so you can't recognize them so openly, so easily. Then G starts for gay. It can be people who are a little feminine, and can be people who are not at all feminine, can be very muscular to look at and completely be look like a man, and they can be described because those gays are the ones who are men and who love men. When I'm saying loving is from the heart to heart. We're not talking about homosexuals here. Okay, we're talking about lesbian and gays are the people who love, a person. And bisexual, LGB, bisexual are the people who love a woman and who can also love a man. They're bisexual. Let's come to transgender, T. T is actually a very different term, and it is an umbrella term on its own, because in transgenders, there are many, sub criteria also, subdivisions also. And then let me stop for a while on transgenders and let me go forward to LGBTQ. Q is for queer, who do not identify themselves as LGBTQIA, or maybe can identify themselves, can or cannot. They can be free to label themselves as queer. They can be gender neutral. They can be anything, anyone. So they can, say that we are, queer. I stands for intersex. Intersex people, normally what we call them inners, which is not right, because intersex people are the ones who are born with, like their sexual organs, their private organs are not developed fully. So they are intersex people, which is like once in a million a child like that is born. That is intersex. And also there is a very myth in the, in the country that the Hijra community comes and take away such, children. There's no such rule, in the constitution that anybody else can come and take away your child. It is the parents' will who give away their child to the Hijra community, that way. So that is also not legalized. You have to first prepare adoption papers and all that, but it is not prepared in like remote areas. And let's talk about A. A is allies. Allies can be our principal ma'am, the students, and the teachers who are supporting our community. They are allies, they are called allies. So let me come back to T as a transgender. So transgender is basically an umbrella term, which includes people who are suffering from gender dysphoria. Okay, gender dysphoria is that you're born in one gender, but you feel like an opposite gender from childhood on. Like when I was born in a body of a male, but I always wanted to be a female because I thought like a female. I had a soul of a female, and I always identify myself as a female. And when I got my gender change surgery done, and that time also I felt that there's has nothing been changed. That my body has become what it had to be. And initially, yes, when I was a kid, there was a lot of time that I had to face a lot of difficulties. I was very badly bullied at school. We didn't have teachers and principals who were like you, but definitely, if they had seen somebody bullying me, they would definitely punish them. It used to happen because I was in a missionary school initially. So we had nurses and we had, we used to call them sisters and we used to call them fathers, and they were very strict people and they should teach us. And but at the age of 7, I was abandoned by my family. I went very far away from my family. I went to Mumbai to my uncle, paternal uncle, and there, I started working at the age of 7. So when I wanted to work as, I wanted to study in school, I was made to work in a dhaba. I used to wake up in the morning, go to my school, come back and go to the dhaba, work there and come back home and also work at home. And in the night, late night, I used to study, because for me, study was very, very important. So I used to do that. And then at the age of 11, when I didn't want to understand what is the meaning of sex and what is sex all about, I was introduced to it because my cousin brothers, they have done multiple rapes with me. And when I woke up, it was a hospital, and I had decided that I also don't want to go back to that home again. And my uncle also was not interested to take me back home because he was scared that I might open my mouth and it can bring trouble to their home. So I was introduced to a trans member who was a member of one of the Hijra community. And she told me that, do you feel like a girl? And, she asked me all this question because normally, when we are transgenders, we are recognizable. We are not people, who can be hidden from anyone. And especially somebody who is in the community, she can easily, identify us as a part of the community. So she asked me, she said, come with us, we'll nurture you, we will upbring you, and once you're done, we will, take you with us for Dholi and Badhai, which is when a baby boy is born, or anybody is born, or they have a new setup happening. So, but I said no, I don't want to do that. I want to work and I want to study. So she introduced me to one of the bar people, and I started working as a bar dancer at the age of 11. So everything was going fine, and I met my cousin sister Viveka Babaji, who was a supermodel at that era, and she introduced me to two of the colleges in Delhi, which was Pearl Academy of Fashion and National Institute of Fashion Technology. So I was in my class 10th when I came to Delhi, back to Delhi, and I started studying because it was for class under 10 also. I started studying fashion design in Pearl Academy of Fashion. So I did my Pearl Academy of Fashion. Side by side, I was also doing my schooling from the open school for my 11th and 12th. After I finished 11th, 12th, because in when we are in a design school, if we have a diploma as well, it is supposed to consider as a graduation. And now, of course, a degree now, that time it's diplomas as well only. Then I went to NIFT. I studied knitwear design technology from there. So when I was a student of designing, I was very fond of two big designers called Ritu Kumar and Ritu Perry. It was my dream to work with them. And my actually dream came true. I worked with both of them. The problem was, again, because I was a female and I had a body of a male. And that was always a very contradictory thing, is to walk, when is to talk. So it was very difficult for me to, to talk like my own gender. I cannot. People used to tell me that, hey, Isaiah, you have to walk like a boy. And I never used to do that. I could not do that because even if I should try a lot, I could not do it. So any which ways, I became, I had to leave those jobs, not because of my mentors, Ritu Bedi and Ritu Kumar, but because of people who were working there. We had karigars who were working there who came from a very, low class family who could not understand the meaning of transgenders. For them, I was a chakka, they used to call me chakka, hijra, whatnot. So any which way, so I decided to quit the jobs and I decided that I want to get into this thing. I want to have my own body and I want to get my surgery done. so one of my trans friends suggested that why don't you start sex work? But sex work is something that, a person would do in the end because it's a very painful job. It is not a job which is like, mentally or physically torturing. It is a torturing, it can torture your soul as well. So I did that for 2 years. But silver lining was that I met a very good fashion photographer in the year 2012. And he was a very big fashion photographer, and he wanted to do a biopic, a black and white biopic. Today we understand a biopic is television series or it can be a movie. No, biopic was a black and white series of a life of a trans prostitute, of what she goes through, and we shot for it for 2 years, and they were very, very, scenes which gave me goosebumps while doing it. For example, I had to stand on Lajpat Nagar, flyover, which is supposed to be a tight area. I was supposed to wear a very revealing sari. And on top of that, I had to pose like a prostitute, and I had to get my pallu out. And it was such a difficult job for me at doing at 5 o'clock in the evening. I think it takes a lot of guts to do it. For any woman to do that and to get shot is like very, very difficult. Then, I had a shot with him where I am making out with my client. I'm looking on the top. And that was again a very, very shocking, thing for me, that somebody's capturing me while I am making out with somebody. And it was not an easy job. And trust me, that time we didn't have trans models. So I was the only option for him. And I really wanted to do it because I wanted to show the pain to the world, that what we go through, all the time. So any which ways, he finished my biopic in 2014. But in 2012, I, quit my sex job because I had enough money by then. And I started getting modeling opportunity because I started dressing up as a woman in 2010. So I started getting modeling opportunities. The first show I ever did was as a showstopper in Rajasthan Designer Festival in 2013. And in 2013 itself, I got my gender change surgery done. And I went further. And 2015 was a remarkable period in my life where I was featured in the Tehelka magazine, on the cover of Tehelka magazine. It was the first time that India was presenting a trans woman on the cover of a magazine. Imagine at that period, 2015, we did not even have the 377 legalized, which is 377 was the unnatural sex, which is like between men to men. It can be with your pets. It could be with any of the animals. It's supposed to be unnatural sex. And that time, they were doing a story about eradicating of 377, and I was put on the cover. So it was a very memorable moment for me. The same year, CNN IBN had taken a look on me, and they wanted to do a story on me because I became India's first trans model and first trans girl model and first transgender showstopper also. So they wanted me to, do their documentary. Again, their documentary was not easy to do. It was very, very difficult to do because I had shot for them for almost a week. And there were again the scenes of me standing on the road in Noida at around 11 o'clock in the midnight and asking for, asking for a lift or something like that. So it was again a very, very difficult shoot. But I accept difficulties because I really wanted this to be shown on the television and this to be shown on the, on the media, so that what all we go through. So documentary became very big hit on CNN IBN. And I also got a call from home from my dad, and he wanted me to come back home. So I came back home in 2015, and my dad supported me, and my mom never supported me. My mom, for her, I don't know. Till now she hasn't supported me. She has always been saying me bad things, which I don't want to tell to students or anybody. But she never could accept me as a woman. So any which ways, my story started, even more developing from 2015, because I said that I don't want to just, put my career stop on here. I wanted to further. So in 2015, we were watching Femina Miss India, and there was this little girl who was married, who was 20, I think, and she was watching television. She was telling me, Didi, why can't we have pageants, where I can also go on the ramp? I said, why not? So I started a pageant called Mrs. India Homemakers, which is registered in the section of IP, which is called the patented trademark of mine. And we have been doing 7 seasons of that. Through this pageant in year 2016, United Nations, Miss United Nations had approached us and they wanted a Miss for their show. So by then I had done a lot of modeling, print modeling and all. So my assistant, he sent my picture to United Nations. So when he sent my picture to United Nations, okay, I thought it would be a trans pageant. So I went there, and but I got to know it was a female pageant. So my director told me that now you have come all the way. Why we will give you one chance, because in 2012, Miss Universe had eradicated that, that even if you're not a natural born woman, but you have got your sex change surgery done, you can still come as a contestant. So they said, when Miss Universe can do, why can't we do? So they allowed me to enter the pageant, and definitely there were a lot of eyebrows that was raised. And I won the first pageant, which is called Miss United Nations Ambassador. Next year, I went to Singapore and I won Miss Singapore International Competition. And then I went to Miss World Diversity in the year 2017, 2018, 2019, South Africa, Dubai, and Mauritius consecutively 3 years. I won all the 3 contests, and when I won all the 3 contests, there was a buzz in India, and my news became viral, and then again it boosted my career in a way that I started getting more recognition, and I got a fan of mine made Wikipedia, and a fan of mine, I don't know how, but I got a blue tick on Instagram and on Facebook. So that also changed my career, because after having a blue tick on Instagram, I started getting a lot of co-branding work, where people were sending me gifts, and I was supposed to do their the advertisement, that okay, I got this and I got that. So any which ways, so till 2021, I have been winning the pageants, and pageants have been my passion. As of now, I also want to tell you something. When I was in a pageant 2018, we were introduced to small kids, because the small kids had come. We had a category for the Little Miss also, the girls who were 4 years old and 5 years old, and they had come from South Africa, and some of the girls did not come with their parents. So there was a little girl, who was very attached to me somehow, and I don't know, from my own side, first time I realized that there's a mamta in me, that I love kids, and that was the first realization of mine, that I love kids, and in my heart of heart, I asked God, I wish I can have a baby. But I didn't know that my prayer will be answered so soon, because when I came to India in October, after finishing my international tasks of winning the contest, I got a baby girl. I got to know that, one of my immediate family was, getting separated, and they didn't want the baby girl to be there. So I adopted her, it was a difficult process, but that time my parents supported me to adopt a baby. And yes, the baby came to me, and now she's 3 years old, and she is very sensitive, in certain things. Whenever I'm sick, she will ask me that I'm sick. She understands a lot of things. Like today, again, I had a fever. I've just got my RT-PCR done, but because I had promised you guys that I will be here, so I'm here to answer your queries and to tell you about a lot of things, just not about my life, but other people as well. So whatever, and I lost my dad in 2020 because of cancer. He had cancer for which lasted about 8 months, and I lost him. And after I lost him, I did not have any support from anyone. Also, I want to mention that through my story, what you can learn is also that moral of the story that you say. You can learn that there's nothing which is called impossible. The term impossible says I'm possible. Because when I was a kid, I used to go to temples and pray to God. God, I wish there's a miracle happens, because I used to watch a lot of, these fairy tales and all. I used to pray to God. I wish a fairy comes and she makes me a woman, complete woman. So, then that really happened, because when I got to know that, when I grew up and I knew that there are surgeries that are happening, I went alone and got my surgery done. It's such a big surgery. I went alone and got it done, and such a painful one also. And then what you can learn also is there will be a lot of people who are going to pull you down, like my mom. She pulls me down all the time, and but I've never been pulled down by her. I have always been very this thing about myself that yes, if I want to do something, I'll do something. No matter whether my own family is with me or not with me, it really doesn't matter to me. I will do what I want to do, And then also what you can learn is that, if me being a trans without any support of family and, of society, if I can reach to a level like that where I can today call myself a celebrity, you guys can also do it. It is not about being into beauty pageant or being into a modeling industry. No, nothing like that. You can become famous even if you are a very good doctor. You can be famous when you're a very good engineer. So it's not about the academic career will not take you anywhere. It can definitely take you a lot of places. But what we need to do is, as of now, is we need to be gender sensitized, especially the teachers, because the teachers obviously, I will be very honest because it might hurt a lot of people, but people who are in teens, of school children especially, and people who are in 20s, when I'm working with, say IIT or IAM for that matter, they are more sensitized about the gender issues and they are the ones who are supporting it. And also, I want to mention that there is a school in Delhi which also comes along with us when we have parade march, like we have every year, November, end of November, and like the last Sunday, we have a prayer march, which is happening from the Hotel Lalit to Jantar Mantar. But from past 2 years, because of COVID-19, we didn't have that. But earlier, the students of that, particular school used to come in the mask, and we obviously have a lot of pictures with them, the students, and they used to always come and support us. And they also have a project called Breaking Barriers, and they are working really nicely and interestingly because they are also, trying to convince their own parents about it so that they don't laugh on somebody. And also, if, for example, any of their friends is into, they identify themselves as LGBTQ member, so they also kind of, help him or her getting that recognition, getting that love from their parents. So that's about it. If you want to ask me any question, I'm here.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Actually, there are some students who want to ask questions from you. If you allow, give the permission.
Sure, please do that.
So, Lavi is a head boy of a school and he would like to ask you a question, please.
Okay.
Lavi?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
May I ask you a question?
Sorry?
May I ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead. First of all, congratulations on being a head boy. It's a very good thing. When I was in school, I always wanted to be a head girl. So, congratulations on being a head boy.
Thank you so much. And your journey is really inspiring. Like even in such hard
Can you be
times.
louder, boy? I cannot hear you so much. Can you be louder?
I felt that your journey is really inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so now my question is that we all know multitasking is a really difficult task. And besides winning prestigious beauty pageants, I've come to know that you have also worked with leading fashion designers, and you're also associated with some NGOs to promote rights and respect for transgenders. So, can you tell how you managed to do so many tasks all together?
Okay, fine. So I tell you something, Mr. Head Boy, that multitasking is something which is not difficult. I do not, I do not waste my time on time wasters like, attending to WhatsApp messages of my friends. I don't do that. I don't call them up, and I'm not into movies and I'm not into, TV serials and all. I watch movies which I want to watch movies. For example, I watched Zero last night on this thing because I used to like Sridevi a lot. So I watched that. And I watched Chandigarh Kare Aashiki again last night, So I watched movies which are good. And also I want to tell you something which I didn't tell till now, that I'm working in a movie which I have titled myself. It's called Draupadi. And so I am a creative person who always want to think something ahead. Okay, so this is going to be the first time that we are making a black and white movie. It's going to be a black and white movie, 15 minutes movie. And we are going to talk about a journey of a trans girl of mine only, for example, how I landed up into a sex worker, you know. So it is a short movie for 15 minutes. I'm working on that. Plus, I'm also working in a music video, which is also going to be highlighting for the first ever time a trans girl into a diva with the proper makeup, hair, and so first time ever they're going to be a man and a trans woman who's going to romancing on the screen. So we will be watching that as well. But how I manage it is because I am totally into meditation. I do a lot of meditation work. I kind of don't, as I told you, I become deaf because when my parents used to say something, or my mom says something to me, or anybody for that matter says something to me, this is not possible. But I try to make that impossible thing possible. I love challenges in my life. So that is also a very good thing. And third thing, which is very important, is time management. If you are good at time management, you can, because we all have 24 hours with us, and in 24 hours, we have to sleep also, we have to eat also, we have to studies also, we have to do co-curricular activities also, we have to do sports also, we have to do a lot of things, and your age. We also, because in class 12 right now, if I believe so, you also have to work for your entrance exams as well. We want to become an engineer, or you want to become a doctor or something, you have to do that. But all is possible with your good time management.
Great inspiring words. Great inspiring words, especially needed for class 12 students.
Thank you.
Manvi of class 12th, she would also like to question you.
Sure,
Manvi?
go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can I ask you a question, please?
Sure, please go ahead.
Transgenders are generally found at traffic intersections, begging and pleading for money. So how can they be reformed and given equal status in society?
Okay. See, basically, I want to tell you that transgenders as a whole do not go for begging and clapping and all those things. Basically, we have a community within the transgender that is called Gharana system, and you can call that as a Hijra community, So Hijra community, they have written in their in their ancient books that they have to do bhiksha. You understand bhiksha? Bhiksha is something donations. So they have to ask for bhiksha, they have to ask for donations, and in return, they have to bless people, So that is what it has been written for Indian transgenders in their own thing, because this has not started now. It has started long, long, long ago, So also the areas are divided. Like for example, Pitampura is going to be headed by some other Kinnar community head. And then we have Shahadra for that matter. In Shahadra also we have so many places. So that is also divided. But there is definitely a good question that you asked, especially for people, who youngsters who don't want to be into that system and want to come out of that system. The equality should begin at school, I believe. If you find a student, who is a little different, for example, he or she is walking like a differently, or he or she talks like, for example, he's a boy and he talks like a girl, or if there is a girl who talks like a boy, don't make fun of them. No one want to make fun of them. Accept them as you want to accept it. You want to get accepted. Accept them the way you are, and don't make them feel they are different. Don't make them feel that they are different from you guys. Embrace them, and that will motivate them to do their education completely. So once they're educated, they get a job, they will not go for begging and clapping. Begging, clapping, or prostitution is the last thing that anybody wants to do. But everything starts at school. So and teachers need to be very strict that if there is somebody who's getting bullied by somebody, that student who is bullying them should be suspended so that others get a lesson.
Great knowledge enhancing answers. Really, they are really boosting them, really.
Thank you.
Next child, Kapil would like to ask, Kapil of class 12th.
Sure.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
May I ask you a question?
Please do that.
Like students are the backbone of the nation. They help in changing the mindset of the society. So what role can students play in promoting gender equality?
Okay. Kapil, I want to tell you that there is something, a slang that is called charity begins at home, you know. So when you're asking me what role can a student play in changing the, the scenario, first you should ask yourself, what is you can do to bring a change, you know. Can you talk to your parents and tell them that, hey, transgenders are also equal than us. It's not their fault because they are also born from a straight man and a straight woman. So it's not their fault that they are transgenders. You need to educate your parents and your siblings first, that if you find such one, please don't laugh on them. And, if you can get them jobs, maybe even like a caretaking job at home, or maybe a job of, maybe saying cleaning, or say security. You can talk about creating job opportunities for them. Like we thought, all of us, we are living in the society these days, so why not we have job within the society, first let's work on our home first before thinking of a nation. And if we want to think of a nation, that is going to be last first, because when you are setting up a small goals, like today if you say that you want to become prime minister of the country, it's not going to happen, right? You have to set up certain goals, like you want to work for the nation, for NGOs, for slum children, and then forward, then you want to become a youth leader. That is how you're going to go in your journey. Similarly, if you want to bring a change in society, first bring that change in your home, bring a change while talking to your parents. If you think that you cannot do it alone, take your friends along, get your friends at home to this thing. And maybe you can invite a trans person at home when you're having a birthday party or something, to ask them to come home and have dinner with you guys, So that is how equality is going to come from.
Yes. Nicely, ma'am. Really motivating and inspiring you are for other students.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Finally, I would like Lucky also. She's the head girl of the school. So Lucky.
Oh, wow.
So Lucky, just raise your question to ma'am. Just put up a question, Lucky.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Ma'am, inspirations guide us to achieve success in our life. Please, may I know who inspired and motivated you to participate in beauty contest pageant?
Okay. So you have asked me, about inspirations in my life. Honestly, I never had an inspiration, whatever I have achieved in my life, it has happened through a thought process, maybe like you can say that, for example, when I became a beauty queen, it was not that I wanted to become a beauty queen. I became beauty queen by chance, if I want, for example, I became a model. I became model by chance. I became a mom, it happened by chance, Yes, as a designer, I wanted to be a designer. That is how I became a designer. But rest of the things in my life have become, through what you say, not my planning. Now, I want to tell you something very important thing here is that, I'm a very spiritual person, I believe in God. And, there's a difference between spirituality and religion, for example, So I'm a very spiritual person. For me, everybody's equal. What I feel is that when you want to be, want to do a puja, for example, you want to do, like you want to say something to God. What God says is that first you serve my people, then you serve me. There are a lot of people who go to temples and, they donate so many things on temples. They make gold idols also. I'm not saying there's nothing against it, but have they ever donated a single small coin to a gold coin to a poor person? No, they haven't done it. So what I want to say is that when you're a spiritual person, you should treat everybody equally, and you should think about betterment of them, how you can do betterment of stray dogs, for example, how you can do betterment of poor people who are on the roads and who are dying of this winters. So we all have to think about that. If we are thinking about all those things, good things, we are doing good deeds in our life, obviously good is going to come back to us. It's like that, like karmas. Karmas speak a lot about, us. When we're trying to do bad to somebody, trust me, worse is going to come back to us. When we're trying to do good to somebody without any expectations, trust me, best is going to come to you. So in a whole, I don't think so anybody inspired me apart from God.
Good afternoon. Ma'am, it was really a very wonderful session.
Thank you.
And I, on behalf of our Honorable Principal, Ma'am, Mrs. Ruma Pathak, express sincere gratitude and gratification to you for sharing your journey of success, sharing your struggles, for sharing your challenges, for being such an
Okay, I think there is some technical.
Network issue, I believe. So yeah, I
Okay.
also want to thank to first of all Kamaljeet ma'am for getting in touch with me. My sincere gratitude to her. I want to thank Honorable Principal Ma'am Ruma Pathak ji for inviting me over and taking this initiative of having breaking genders in the in the school. And I would try to help once we are done with the COVID-19 situation. I would definitely love to come over and do workshop with the kids so that I can give them tasks to do what they should be doing actually, because whatever I told them today is, something which they don't know exactly the process as how they will go forward to it. So I would now definitely want to come over and give them projects about, how they can go forward in life to bring the gender equality, not just, at a big level, but we will be doing projects with them at a small level first.
Thank you so much, Nazir. Thank you so much. On
You're
behalf of
welcome.
all
Most
students, principal ma'am, and everyone, and we are looking forward for more and more collaborations with you,
Oh,
so
thank
that
you.
we
Thank
can
you.
inspire
Namaste.
the whole school and students, and they
Okay,
can,
namaste.
inspire the community ahead. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so students, I hope you liked the session, and now you can leave.